So far, we've explored the structure and properties of Bitcoin from a variety of perspectives. As we explained at the beginning, Bitcoin operates as a system that creates and transfers value through a kind of majority-based consensus. Its direction and development are guided by a unique form of decentralized decision-making. On top of that, the Lightning Network is being developed as an extension, and Bitcoin is also beginning to connect, both directly and indirectly, with the existing financial system in various ways. No one can say for certain how Bitcoin will evolve in the future, but by understanding its complex structure and the incentives and conflicts among the many participants, you can begin to see it with much greater clarity.
People often say that Bitcoin is hard to understand. My teacher even told me that no one in the world fully understands it, and that no one can confidently predict what Bitcoin will become. But there's a big difference in how deeply people understand it. By learning about the technical structure, the different players involved, their incentives, and the conflicts between them, you start to gain a clearer picture. And it becomes much easier to follow discussions and news about Bitcoin. I'm still learning too, but compared to when I first started, I can understand Bitcoin-related topics much better now.
Now, let's review what we've covered so far. First, the key feature of the Bitcoin network lies in the algorithm invented by Satoshi. It allows consensus to be reached in a system with no central leader, where anyone is free to join or leave. On top of this algorithm, Bitcoin can be understood as a unique form of majority-based system, where value is created and exchanged. Through this process, participants collectively determine what is valid, and records are preserved in a way that makes them extremely difficult to alter. Even the development direction of the software used to run the network is decided through this kind of decentralized consensus.
The ability to reach consensus in a system where anyone can freely join or leave is the technological innovation that Satoshi came up with. Before that, people believed it wasn't possible.
We also explored the unique properties of Bitcoin. Decentralization means there is no central authority. Many nodes cooperate to maintain and operate the network. Trustlessness means you don't need to rely on any third party to act honestly when using Bitcoin. Self-sovereignty means you can manage and store your Bitcoin yourself without intermediaries. And thanks to its censorship resistance, you can transact freely with anyone. Neutral money refers to the fact that Bitcoin is created through mining that is independent of any state and open to anyone. Permissionlessness means that no approval is required to participate in the network, whether by running a node, mining, or contributing to development. There are also many different forms of influence over the Bitcoin network. As we've seen throughout this series, there are many types of participants outside the network as well. There are also various forms of indirect influence on the Bitcoin network. When using services built on top of Bitcoin, we recommend understanding how much of Bitcoin's core properties those services preserve or sacrifice.
There are many different players influencing the Bitcoin network in different ways, but my teacher said that understanding indirect influence is especially difficult. They also mentioned that if external influence becomes too dominant, there's a risk that Bitcoin's original innovation could be slowed down or even stopped by collective decision-making. There's still a lot I don't fully understand at that level, but I really love Bitcoin as a new form of neutral peer-to-peer money, and I want to support that vision in my own way.
As we discussed in video 4, people participating in Bitcoin activities hold very different visions for its future. Some aim to realize Satoshi's original vision, as described in the white paper, a global peer-to-peer currency. Many developers fall into this category. Others see Bitcoin's success as becoming widely adopted as a new kind of financial asset. Some believe Bitcoin will serve as a security layer for other blockchains, forming the foundation for smart contracts and decentralized applications. Even among those who support the peer-to-peer currency vision, opinions differ. Some reject other use cases entirely, while others believe additional applications are acceptable, as long as they don't interfere with a long-term vision.
Personally, I really like the idea of Bitcoin as a global peer-to-peer currency. That said, I'm pretty open to it being used in all sorts of ways, but in the end, I'd still love to see Satoshi's original vision come true.
There are also diverse incentive structures, profit models, and power dynamics among participants. Players with different visions and incentives influence the network from various positions, both directly and indirectly. Some participate directly in the consensus process, such as individual developers, node operators, companies, and individual miners. Others, like governments, regulators, and businesses, exert influence more indirectly.
It can be hard to understand how all these players are involved, both directly and indirectly, and what incentives they each have. That's why we started by explaining how consensus works from a technical perspective. I hope this series has helped you better understand Bitcoin's structure and ecosystem, even just a little.
There are no definitive answers about Bitcoin's future. Satoshi's algorithm made it possible to reach consensus in an open, peer-to-peer network, leading to the creation of a new kind of money. Bitcoin is evolving through a complex form of majority-based decision-making, shaped by the participation of people and organizations from a wide range of positions. There is no central leader. In this series, we've explained the underlying algorithm, the various future visions, and the economic and social incentives that drive participants, and how these factors influence decision-making. With this overview, you should now have a clearer understanding of the discussions taking place within the Bitcoin ecosystem.
That brings us to the end of this series. Has your understanding of Bitcoin improved? Some people say Bitcoin is like a language. Just like language, it has shared rules that allow people to communicate. New expressions can be created by a small group, and if others start using them, they spread across the network and eventually become part of the rules. I've tried to stay as neutral as possible throughout this series, but personally, I hope Bitcoin will spread around the world as a peer-to-peer currency. To me, Bitcoin, starting from Satoshi's invention, feels like a historic shift that strengthens individual sovereignty, and I believe it's something shaped by all who participate in it. I plan to stay involved in different ways, and I'd be happy if even one more person watching this video decides to take part. This series focused on the Bitcoin network, but we'll continue releasing more videos in the future. See you next time.